everybody. It's your girl, T. Marie. Thank you for joining me for a special edition of The Conversation. Listen, I was at home minding my own absolute own business until news started breaking everywhere. Now, I had already heard the news. Y'all like, wait, what news? What news? What you talking about, baby? If you don't know what I'm talking about, then obviously you just have no idea what's going on. You're not paying attention. You're not in the realm of relationship world. You just don't know. But everybody knows the relationship guru, Derrick Jaxn. Okay? Men hate him. Women absolutely love him. But as of today, he's been what they call exposed. And so I decided to grab my tea so we could have tea and talk about this relationship guru situation. So thank you for joining me for the conversation, the special edition, Spilling the Tea with Derrick Jaxn. Let's get a little clip of, at least today his wife came out. Well, before I do that, the news broke over the weekend. If you don't know, news broke over the weekend that he had an affair, right? Everybody's like, oh my God, how could he have cheated? Not the guru, not the guru. Well, yeah, the guru cheated. But the thing was, this supposedly happened while he was separated. So we'll address today. Is it cheating if they're separated? We'll talk about that. So once that was exposed, you know, the girl who came on, there's some clips if you can go watch it. The girl who came on was somebody he had known for years, had become a confidant, a friend. He had known this young lady for quite some time. He had been involved with her before, just several things. We had known her for a while. And supposedly what happened was she had been seeing him. She talked about being at his house. She talked about the woman's clothes being there. But when she talked to him, he was telling her that he was separated, that they were no longer together, that, you know, he was trying to get to know her and be involved with her. And she said things were going well. Of course, he flew her and her friends out to Atlanta. This is what she said. He flew her and her friends out to Atlanta to have a good old time for his birthday. This was July. Now, he gives a timeline on his live, the whole timeline that everything happened. He and his wife, I think, had separated around April, May, June. His birthday was around the 1st of July. So, you know, when he invited her to come out to Atlanta for his birthday, him and the wife wasn't together. The girl says when she goes over there, she still sees some of the wife things, okay? But he's like, yeah, of course, some of the things are here. But here's the thing. You brought her to the home, even if you're separated, you brought her to the home that you and your wife shared, or whatever was going on. I don't know. I just know that that's kind of a little trifling thing to do, even if you are separated. You can get a hotel, but you know, I digress. Skip a few. So then this is how everything happens. July, August, the timeline is he starts to have conversation with his wife, and they start to entertain the idea of getting back together. Around the same time, this girl, I think her name is Candace, around the same time, the girl says Derrick starts to ignore her. He stops talking to her. He just cuts her off completely. Well, of course, once you get cut off completely, the side chick not gonna like that. That's when she decides that she should expose Derrick for the low down, whatever he is. What she says is, I cannot believe, hold on, let me scoot back. This is what she says. I cannot believe that he would do such a thing, being the type of person he is, the way he talks about relationships. I mean, I can understand if you want to break it off. It wasn't what he did. It was how he did it. He just broke it off and decided he wasn't going to talk to me anymore. Now, you know you can't do that, Derrick. Matter of fact, not even Derrick. Fellas, you know you cannot just break off. Let me sip this tea. You cannot just break off the side chick. She is not going to like that. It's not going to end well for you. So either way, he leaves and he goes, and then not only does he break it off, because remember, most of us knew, we had never seen Derrick's wife, girlfriend, or anything. For a long time, we didn't know if he was married. We didn't really know what his relationship status was. And so all of a sudden, I think it's August, September, somewhere around there, he posted a picture of his wife on Instagram, and that's when the shit hits the fan, and the side chick decides, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm over this. You don't treat me like what? First of all, she starts to act like she's the wife. You don't treat me like that. You don't do me like that. You don't hype me up and do me any kind of way. Well, again, side chicks, that's what happens when you're the side chick. You can't have a level of expectation. You just can't. So anyway, all the men are just sitting up here right now, clapping, 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 clapping. We knew he was a fraud. He's always putting men down. He never talks well about men. He's always talking about what men shouldn't do, what men don't do, or whatever. But now he's been exposed. Well, let's take it like this. In his videos, he had some I can't say all of his stuff was bad. Some of it was extreme, but I can't say it was bad. He actually had a few good things to say about what to recognize if a man isn't into you, and how do you know if you're being played and all this other stuff. But why wouldn't he? He's doing exactly what he's talking about. He would have the tea on that, right? He would be able to tell a lady, a young lady, a woman, what it looks like to be played, what a narcissist looks like, right? He would really know that. So he wasn't talking from inexperience. And let's be clear, most of the times as relationship coaches and experts or whatever, in me speaking from experience, normally we're speaking from a place that we've been through, something that we've been through, something that we've experienced, something that we've done, something that we've learned from, life lessons, research as well, knowing people. So it makes it easier to be able to deliver information so that you, the listener, you, the viewer, you, the client will be able to take it and understand it. But now it's a little hard to digest. I mean, you say, or they say, eat the meat, throw away the bone. Kind of hard to eat the meat when you're choking on it, right? Kind of hard. So all the men are just upset, and all the women are just broken. They can't, but not all. I want to say all. A lot of the women are just broken. I mean, they can't understand how and when and where and how could he or whatever. But then there's a lot of other women who are like, you know what? Men make mistakes. Things happen. And they do happen. Trust me. I get it. They do happen. But there's something about being in a position of telling somebody something and turning around and doing that same exact thing that you tell women to look out for, that really discredits who you are. So let me ask you guys, do you think that this is going to discredit who he is? You think he's going to lose followers? Do you think he's going to have a falling, that this is going to bring down the Derrick Jaxn empire? If you want to call, you definitely can. That phone number is 404-436-1277. You are listening to the conversation with T. Marie. We're doing a special edition, Spilling the Tea, about Derrick Jaxn. Now, I have a little audio, I have a little clip, because there was a couple things that came out. Of course, he had the video with the girl, not with him, but the girl spilling the tea to one of the other bloggers on, that's out there. That's who broke the story. I can't think of her name. I think it's Tasha somebody. I can't remember. But then we have today where he comes on and he talks about why and how, and, not being perfect. And, he's a sinner, and all the different things he went through, and, him changing his life, and, all of these things. He talks about, that she's not perfect, even though we're not talking about her, she's not perfect. And, things happen. And then he talks about the book, How to Heal, Loving How to, I can't remember the book, y'all, I'm not going to give it, but you'll find it. So there's a new book he has out, and he references all the things that happened in this book to what's going on in his life now, which was the reason why he wrote the book. So let's be clear. We do make mistakes, right? We understand that things happen. But when you put your mouth on people, or when you get out there and say, You should not date this man who does A, B, C, X, Y, Z, and then turn around and be that man who does A, B, C, X, Y, Z. You happen to give the women who have been hoping that finally there's somebody out there who understands how I feel and what I'm looking for and got my back and can tell me who to look for. And then he turns out to be the same exact person that you were talking about. I don't know. Kind of hard to swallow. But my biggest thing for him was, let's go back a couple years ago. I guess you guys remember. Do you remember when he had so much to say about Pastor John Gray? Remember? When he spoke about John Gray and how he couldn't believe John would cheat on his wife and embarrass his wife and put his wife out there. I mean, that's a different type of narcissism right there. That's a different type of narcissism when you can sit there and talk about all the things that somebody else should do. And then not only talk about it, but crucify him, make a whole video, go back and forth with the man, talk about his wife and his family, right? Say all those things, but yet you're doing the exact same thing that you're talking about and condemning. That's a different type of individual. So talk about narcissistic. Honestly, I'm imagining John Gray just sitting back sipping tea too, like, y'all thought y'all was listening to somebody now, but look how the tables turned. The tables done turned on you. Yeah, that's just different. That's different. So, you really have to be careful when you're out here being an influencer and helping people and coaching about the way you live your life. See, the one thing about me is that I try to be as transparent as I can. I live no perfection. I've learned a lot through my relationships. I've learned a lot through the hurt, through the pain, through the damage, through the mistakes. And that's why I'm able to relate things to other women and coach them and help them to recognize how to date, who to date, and what state of mind to be in when you're dating, because I've been in the wrong state of mind trying to date and getting results that resulted in not the best decisions because of how I felt about me, where I was in my life, what was going on. And so I can speak about that. That's how the book No More Boyfriend was birthed. That came from a relationship that I had been in for a couple years, for several years, well, 2 and 3 years off and on, that I made so many mistakes in, and I took this man to be a husband when he literally was just a boyfriend, and I was giving him all these things. I mean, we go through and we live through life, and so you have to be transparent when you're out here giving advice to people who are counting on you to help them through their hurt. So there's the accountability. We want to say he's just human. He makes mistakes. Absolutely. Absolutely he does. But there's also an accountability, especially when you're making money off people. Now, people want to say he's just a person that was out here just making money. He was just doing this. There's still an accountability that you should have, right? When you're talking and teaching and influencing people. You can't just be out here reckless and deciding you want to do something because the money is good. You have to be open. You have to be transparent. Had he been transparent when he wrote this book, when he came out, then this scandal wouldn't have been able to hit. Matter of fact, it wouldn't have been able to be a scandal because he's already talked about it. See, what we got to learn how to do is open up and be honest about the things that we do. Therefore, they become no scandal. See, when you own your own stuff, nobody can put it out there. You got to own it. He could have flipped that so good and made even more money by being transparent and talking about the power of forgiveness in a relationship and being able to open up. But no, only a narcissist would want to sweep what they've done under the rug and be so high and mighty to tell you about what you need to do. And that's why men are applauding all over the world, because they're like, see, he's no saint. He's just the same person like we are. And that's why they're happy. And that's why I hope women don't be so devastated, so they'll understand that men are men. And the best way to be accountable for the way you have a relationship is to know the type of men that you're dating, get to know them, but to also be accountable to yourself, to know who you are, to be a complete person. That's where relationships start. You can avoid a whole lot of people and a whole lot of things and a whole lot of men if you just understand first about you. So let's go to the second part. We're gonna. I think we have a clip. I think with him and his wife. I definitely got to talk about his wife since we're talking about women and accountability and relationships. Let's see if I can.
What's going on, guys? Derrick Jaxn here, and today I am joined by my lovely wife, Danae. And we just wanted to address a couple of things. We understand that some of you may have already heard, maybe not, that this chapter of our marriage is one that was preceded by a marriage that I completely failed. And I would say it just started around August, maybe September of last year. But, a lot has been said already about what was the cause and all that other stuff. Some of it is true. Some of it is completely false. But the truth is, and I'm saying it here now, is that Derrick Jaxn was involved with other women outside the marriage. And by involved, I want to be clear, I'm not talking about just casually kicking it, maybe a lunch or something like that. I'm talking about as serious as sex, to sexual flirtation and meeting up and that kind of thing. And some things that otherwise may be considered okay by some in terms of like just chatting or checking on people or being checked on by people that I've had a previous encounter with. But without my wife's knowledge of it and with us having a sexual history, all of it falls under the umbrella of inappropriate. Cheating,
okay, let's pause. Let me pause
out.
Right here. I'm gonna pause right here. So what he's talking about right now is he's talking. I don't know if you guys can hear me if you're on Instagram listening, but right now he's talking about he has his wife sitting with him. So first of all, he says that this was his wife's idea. It was his wife's idea to come on and further discuss, right? All the things that he has embarrassed her with. This was his wife's idea, okay? His wife said, you know what, honey? I know you've embarrassed me and I know you put me out there, but how about we come on and talk about it some more? So he starts off talking about, yeah, I cheated. And I didn't just regularly cheat. I cheated with a lot of different women. And I cheated in ways that I probably should have cheated. And I embarrassed my wife. Meanwhile, she's sitting there. Let me grab my tissue. Got a little sinus. Meanwhile, she's sitting there looking discombobulated for one. This is her idea though. But not only discombobulated, this lady whose idea it was, right, to come on and speak about all the transgressions that her husband did and address the world about these transgressions comes out, and I know y'all gonna be like, T, what this got to do with anything? Well, I'm gonna spin it around. She comes out looking as if she was totally defeated. Now listen, Derrick, and I can't think of her name. If you're gonna bring your wife in front of the world and talk about how you guys have come full circle and that she's doing okay and you guys have this amazing relationship right now, wouldn't it have been nice for you to present her in a way that she looked like she was undefeated, like she was winning, like she had gotten over the situation, like she was doing her thing? Shouldn't you present your wife in the best light possible? You let this woman that you're supposed to love so much come out looking like she had just been exhausted. She tired. Like she didn't comb her hair. She didn't change her shirt. She got on jeans. She just sitting there. She got on I had on a bonnet. So we're not going to say it's a bonnet. She had on a beret, looked like a net beret. And listen. I know y'all might say, well, T, what they got to do with how she looked? What how she looked got to do with them being together? Well, let me tell you what it has to do with them being together. When you have truly gotten over a situation, when you have truly, and you are truly ready to move forward, you are not going to allow a man to present you to the world that has embarrassed you, further embarrassment, sitting there looking like that. Now, I know y'all like, oh, but she just, maybe she just wanted to look. Maybe she just wanted to come in her regular self. So, okay, regular self. If this is her regular self, and she looks like this all the time, and she has a husband that we know will cheat, has cheat, will begin to cheat, has no problem with cheating, is a cheater, and seems to be never satisfied. You can't be a wife that sets up looking in a bonnet and those jeans and glasses all day. Man, he needs something to look at. That'll give him a reason to step out. Not that I'm excusing it. I'm not. But what I'm saying is, This can't be the figure that you was continuing to put in your household and trying to be with a man who's out in the world, right? With millions of women, right? At his beck and call, right? And this is what you're presenting. So then they go further on, and they talk about she being she's you can't, this is God's complete. People can be forgiven. People can be can change. People can be different, and this is her changing, and this is her being able to get over it, and that she's okay, and all of that good stuff. God's got her, and she's just preaching, and they both talking about the goodness of God and the blood of Jesus covering and forgiveness and all that. And I'm mad at y'all. And let me tell you why I'm mad. Because y'all got my God out here looking crazy. That's right, I said it. Y'all got my God out here looking crazy, like when he heals you and when he's finished putting you back together, then he presents you like a whole lump of coal. Ma'am, sir, when God is done working on you, you become a whole different type of person. Let me sip. When God is working on you and he presents you and he has restored you, you don't come back looking like you wore out and tired. At the very least, you present yourself like this is what God can do when he heals a person, when he brings a person through, when he helps me through my relationship. I come out looking like gold because I am a daughter of God and I'm an overcomer. You don't come out here with no bonnet on your doggone head, with no sweatshirt on and no jeans with some glasses on, sitting in front of this man with his shirt tight and rippled and talking about we're a winner, talking about Jesus, talking about God's grace. You don't do that, because now you put my God out there like he's not a full restorer. I believe he can restore your relationship. Yes, I do. I believe he can restore anything. Yes, I do. I believe that people can change. Yes, I do. But what you're not going to do is bring yourself out there and talk about God that fixed and healed you and sit up there looking like he just set you back outside when you came around full circle. Don't do that to my God, because he don't do it like that. He don't do it like that. Right? You look like you was wanting to speak, like you didn't have nothing, like you was a hostage, like you was just lost. But you was bringing word, and you was bringing good word, but you could have been bringing good word out of being able to recall, recite. Baby girl, I don't wish no divorce upon anybody. I don't. I think anybody can get through anything. I do. You know the patterns, and you know what your husband has been, and you know what your husband has been, and you know what you guys have been through. But the next time y'all come out talking about my God and what he can do, I'm going to need y'all to represent better. Because what happens is when you come out talking about what God can do, and you telling other women that God can restore you, and you telling people that God can restore you, they'll start thinking, is this all I can get though? Is this the best I can look when God does this? I don't know if I want to do this with God if this is all I can be. This don't look like no restoration. You got the words right, but you sitting up here looking like you don't know which way you want to go. So she sits there. If you guys don't know, he continues to talk, and he says that this is her idea, and he says that she wants to come on and talk about where the relationship is now. And matter of fact, it almost looks like an interview. He's sitting there asking her questions, and she's answering the questions almost like it's an interview. Like, what do you think? How do you think our relationship has changed since all this has happened? And then she answers. Well, what do you think we could be? What do you think about, all the certain things? How did you recover from all of that? Sir, are you serious? Sir. This your wife. This your wife after a scandal. This your wife who you promised to love and be and take care of after a scandal, and she's been embarrassed by anybody. This your wife. You present her as pure gold. You set her out there and you cover her. You put her out there and you make sure that the world understands that this is your wife. You messed up, and I'm here to restore everything we have. And she should feel good about that. If she was confident in that, she would be sitting in that. And to me, it just didn't look like it. It just looked like a whole plot and play to save their brand. To me, I mean, that's me. That's me. I don't know. I'm just saying. It looked a little put on to me. She talks about in this interview how he walks out the door. He asks her a question because the baby is crying. And he asked her a question. He said, while I go get our daughter, he's very, Very proper. I'm going to go get our daughter while you answer this question and about where the state of our relationship is and what you feel about it. And she goes on to tell a little bit of tea, kind of, while he's gone. She lets us know that she's seen a lot. She's been through a lot. And this is the first time. What she actually says is she got so fed up that she had to leave. She was done. That she had to call to God. That she had nothing left. She was exhausted. She was tired of this happening over and over and over. And she was fed up and she left. Which leads us to believe, again, that this has been going on and on and on for quite some time. And how amazing, or how amazing is the wrong word, how distraught, how devastating is it to sit beside a man, to live with a man, to sleep in the bed with a man, to listen to a man, to have to deal with a man every day who tells other women about what kind of man they should have and what man they should look out for and what type of men are out there and how they should be careful and how they should wear their crown and all these other things. How distraught and devastating to lay by that man every night knowing he is the exact person that he's warning other women about. How hypocritical. How dare he? How could he? And you want to talk about damage and a woman putting on his crown, and matter of fact, you're sitting here knocking your wife's crown off every day? How narcissistic is that? It's amazing to me that he even was able to stand up in that and be okay. But he was. And he still is. And if you look at what's going on now, it's no different. This is put on. These are, saving face things and things we have to do. And so people, again, they ask me, hey, T, he's going to lose everything. People are not going to go buy his books and listen to this stuff, honey. Yes, they are. Now, let me tell you, he's going to lose a certain group of people. But y'all missed the spin, because here's the spin. If you caught the spin, they talked about the Lord the whole darn time. So what he's going to do now is, guess what? He's going to flip it. He's going to make it a forgiveness segment, and he's going to use his wife as the pawn. He will continue to set her out there, and you will continue to see her more. So now when you didn't see her at all, when they were first together, all this time he's been talking to women, you didn't know if he was married or not. You didn't know what was going on in his life. Now you're about to see her all the time. Now she's a piece. Now she's usable. Now she's valuable, because now he can add another piece of the puzzle to his program and sell another type of situation. Well, here we go. Watch what I tell you. Y'all don't come back and say, T, you said that. I said, I know. I tried to tell y'all. But for her sake, I hope she really understands where her value is. Because to me, no matter how she spoke about God, no matter how she spoke about being healed, her posture, her demeanor, her voice, her diction, the things she said, the way she said them leads me to know, not believe, but know she ain't all right. She's going to need some therapy. She's going to need some covering. She's going to need more than just another book from her husband. Okay? So we got to get it together. As women, we have to be accountable. We have to be accountable for the things that happen to us. And that's all I teach. That's all I want women to know. That's all I do when I coach is accountability, because everything that happens to you, even if you're a victim, you play a part. Because you set yourself up in certain ways and you do certain things and you allow certain things and you keep allowing certain things and you keep allowing certain things and you keep first is because here's the pattern. First is because we've been in a relationship for so long. It's been 6 months, a year, 2 years, and you keep staying. Now you can't leave, or you don't want to leave because you don't want to give this up. You see everything that's wrong. You see all the red flags. You see all the cheating, but maybe, it's been 2 years. It's a year and a half, been 2 years. Now it's the kids. Now I can't leave. It's the kids. The kids can't leave because the kids. We got these kids. Can't leave because the kids. We got these kids. Now it's his reputation. Well, he's on now. People know him. People know about him. I can't put him out there like that. He's out there teaching. He's winning. He's bringing money to the household. He's all his attention. I don't want to disturb him. I don't want to mess up who he is. Meanwhile, the whole time you're sacrificing your whole self for a person who's willing to give no sacrifice for you. Ladies, that is not what we're doing anymore. Now, I'm not talking about him or her jumping up out of her marriage because she has kids, and there's a certain covenant of marriage that now you're married that you got to try to figure out how to work through it if the person is willing to change, if he's willing to do the work. I know people don't believe in divorce, and as Christians, we believe that we're supposed to stay and suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer because Christ suffered. We're supposed to suffer. And you know, again, this is a marriage. So I believe in a marriage, you should fight. But you shouldn't fight by yourself. If you're just swinging and hitting nothing but air, it's just you, baby. Ain't nobody else even in the fight. You need to reevaluate that. But it's your marriage. And again, marriage has a certain type of covenant. And so you have to fight. But you don't have to be broken. You don't have to be defeated because you're not worth anything to God when you're defeated. He loves you. And I don't want to mean worth it. When I say mean worth, you're not, because he's going to always love you and carry you. But you can't put on the fight. You can't be a good soldier if you're broken and healed. You can't have a good word. You can't be a good representative of God if you're broken and you're moving as if you have no love for yourself, and not even people believe that you believe in God. People are all on the line today talking about this girl lying. Let me see. She lying. She like a hostage. Something going on with her. She lying, Lord. She lying. No, I don't know what to tell you. All I know is I need this lady to understand who she is and hold this man accountable, because if he is truly changed, we ought to give him the benefit of the doubt. But he has work to do. He has work to do in our eyes, and he has work to do in his wife's eyes in order to prove and show us that he has did that 180, that he's ready to be a deliverer, that he's ready to do the right thing. And so we pray for him. We pray for him because we want his wife to be good. We pray for him because we want his family to be good. We want his kids to be good. We don't want his kids coming up and seeing finding out that their dad and cheated on their mom and broke her up, because guess what? That becomes a pattern. And here they go, getting the same type of man that their daddy was. We don't want that for these babies. We want them to be up in a household that's whole and solid. That's what we want. So we pray. So let me go on this. Again, my sinuses, y'all. Sorry. I don't want to be out here looking a fool. So let's go to this. Again, we know that all of this stuff happened while he was separated, right? Supposedly while he was separated, even though they both had did their thing, blah, 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 blah. And that's another thing about his accountability. He would say, I did my cheating, and she did some things too, but we ain't gonna talk about that. First of all, we're not talking about that. Don't even bring it up. Cover her. Leave her out of this. Even if she did some things, cover her. Because they could have been in response to some that you did. So cover her. Don't bring her shit up in this right now. Ain't nobody talking to you. Ain't nobody talking about her. We talking about you. So don't even bring her up in that. Talking about what she did some things, but we ain't gonna talk about it. Well, then don't talk about it. Leave it alone. Oh, sorry, son. But anyway, so we're talking about separation, right? He's saying that, all this stuff happened while he was separated. Okay. All right, okay, cool. Does that matter? Can somebody let me know, does that matter? Is separation the permission for whoever's separated to go out and do other things? What is separation? What are we doing when we're separated? What is the point of being separated? Why don't we divorce, right? Most of the time when people separated, it's because they're not quite ready for divorce, right? Or they just get a divorce. When they're separated, usually normally you should be taking some time to try to figure out, find out, wonder, kind of get it together, think about some healing for yourself, think about some things you could do differently, find out what's going on in your home, find out what's going on with yourself, find out what's going on in your life and maybe your partner, spouse's life, that maybe, you needed some go to separate corners to find out how y'all can do a resolve. The reason why separation doesn't work sometimes is because sometimes people take separation as divorce. They feel like instead of working it out, right, and finding out what's wrong with them or trying to figure out what's wrong with their spouse, or maybe getting to know each other better from separate situations, from separate corners, you know, trying to heal the relationship, they use it as a pass to go out and do everything they want to do. I think I'll just go out and hang with this person and sleep with this person and deal with this person and mess with this person and all this other stuff, child. I think I'll go do all of that. Just get a divorce then. Because if you're open to entertaining other men or women, you know, if it's whoever you're entertaining, if you're open to entertaining another relationship, being sexual and hanging out or whatever, you're pretty much probably out of being married or being with that person. What are you separating for? To hold somebody in case you want to go back? That's wrong. You put them and you separate them and then you figure out your life by going and do all the stuff you're big enough to do and then you come back? That's wrong. So can somebody tell me, is it cool? Is it cool? I mean, we were separated. We didn't know. We were separated. Just so y'all know, if you separated, baby, legally, you still married. That's one. And legally, if you do some shit while you separated you weren't supposed to do when you married, you still gonna get the same consequence. Same thing with the covenant. If you're doing something you ain't got no business, you're still married, you're gonna get the same consequence. Something is not gonna go all the way right. There's gonna be a penalty for that. So if you want to do something, if you want to do other stuff, go ahead, but leave. Let the person have their peace and their opportunity to let somebody else be in their space. You know, you know, separation for me is not permission to go out and do other things. And so if you're out there cheating while you're separated, I think you're still in a wrong place. You're still wrong. You're still wrong. But for him, we were separated. So he has all these excuses now. It's fine. And matter of fact, he did a video about people. See, again, different type of narcissist. He did a video about being separated. He did a video about being separated, that you're still married. He did a video about being married and be separated and still dealing with other people. He did a video. Oh, I think that's what makes me tired about it. I think the part that makes me tired about it is that everything he did a video about it. But that's what made him an expert. Right? Can we take it from that point? That's what made him know how wrong it was. That's what made him know exactly how the person feels when they cheat. That's exactly how you know how a man no longer loves you. And that's exactly how you know if the 5 reasons why he's not taking you seriously. That's exactly how you know why you got ghosted. It's exactly how you know, because he did it all. So he gave y'all good advice. He told the truth. He was doing it. Sip Steve. He was doing it. So he knew. Now, can I go back to the side chick and talk to the fellas and the ladies, but the fellas? Y'all know that anytime you deal with a side chick, the type of side chick you're dealing with, then once you decide to cut them off, there's going to be a consequence. It's going to be a way. Fellas, the best way to get rid of a side chick, and listen to me now, the best way to get rid of a side chick, make it her idea. Make her break up with you. Just do some foul shit and just make her be like, I'm not with this no more. Because if you break up with her, she's going to tell it. She's going to tell it. Trust and believe. She's going to tell it. Why would you even entertain it? And you did it like, this is how bold you were. You did it with nothing. You're flying her people out. You're going to Miami, entertaining them. You're taking your friends down there. I mean, y'all kicking it. And he says, this is because he was at the worst part of his life. He wasn't able to see his wife. His wife had left him. He wasn't able to see his kids. So all this stuff was the worst time of his life. And what he was doing was smoking and drinking and doing everything else he was big enough to do to numb the pain. That's why he was doing it, But meanwhile, you was giving this girl some good old, because girl, y'all were in the other part of the tea now. Wait. In the part of the tea now. This is a part. said that D was good, Sip. Side chick said that D was good. Said he was swinging and dang-a-langing, okay? She said it was popping. So you give the side piece good panana too? So hold up. You give the side piece good panana. You give her good oral because she says that. And you think she's just supposed to walk away from all of that. But I'm curious because there's one thing she did say. She said he would never allow her to give him oral. What y'all think about that? He would do her oral, and she said they always had protected sex, but he would give her oral, but he never wanted her to. What y'all think that was for? I've been trying to figure that out for a little while, and I can't quite call it. Maybe it was some type of guilt. Maybe he didn't want her mouth. He didn't want her mouth where his wife's mouth was going to be. I don't know. I've been trying to figure that out. Maybe he gets soft when you give him oral. Maybe it's, I don't know. I've been trying to figure that out. But otherwise, she said he was popping. So you can't give this is another lesson. You can't give the side chick no popping ass E. Because she gonna tell it when y'all break up. What's wrong with you, Derrick Jaxn? You're supposed to act like your game ain't good. You have to try to impress people with your narcissistic self. I wanted to know that I got the bang and boom, 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 boom. I'm just stuck like Chuck. I don't know. But it's a marriage. So can we talk about that as a marriage? Is he supposed to be now listen, all the women have not all, a lot of the women been like, she needs to leave him. He ain't shit. She needs to leave him. She needs to leave him. He ain't nothing. She needs to leave him. She needs to go. I'm not gonna be on that train. I can't say that. That's her husband. I don't know. I don't know if he's changed or if he's healed. But all of y'all out there talking about she needs to leave him. You can stop. Because a lot of y'all ain't leaving niggas who ain't doing nothing for y'all, okay? Y'all need to stop. He ain't even your husband and he ain't doing nothing for you and you ain't left yet. Don't say it. That's her husband now. Some of y'all out there telling me she should leave him. Meanwhile, somebody else got your car at the studio. Don't do it. Don't put your mouth on these wives who try to make the best out of their relationships, out of their marriages. You know, there comes a time that, yeah, but you know what you can put up with. And it ain't for us to say that's a covenant. That's a different type of covenant. Because the one thing God is going to do for that person is protect them. He's going to cover them. He's going to make sure that they are all right. He's going to bring them, full circle. He's going to do that. I promise you he is. But we need to keep our mouth off of it, y'all. We know she looks like she needs help. We know it, but we can't, ain't nothing for us to say. Ain't nothing for us to say when it comes to that. We need to leave that alone. Because again, there's a lot of y'all out here with these boyfriends that ain't left nobody in 10 years. He been with you and Candace across town. Keep going back and forth between the two of y'all. Y'all both got kids by him. Going back and forth. You can't come to the birthday party because she don't fool with you. And then your brother, your baby can't meet his baby because even though they brother and sister, you can't stand her and you ain't left nobody. He keep going back and forth to y'all and you talking about she needs to leave her man. Girl, shut your mouth. Be quiet, okay? Don't start that stuff. There's a lot of women we talked about Rashida. I'm just talking about women who are stayed by their man. We talked about Rashida. We talked about Pastor Grace, like Avatar. They're still there. Through all the mess. They're still there. We don't know why. Could be for the kids. Could be because they've truly changed. I don't know. I don't know how long I could do it. I don't know, but that's not for me to say. What we hope for is that whatever they're there for, that they're getting covering and peace and something from it that's allowing them to be strong in their position. Because what we don't want to see is another time that girl come out there with that hat on and them jeans and that darn glasses, sitting up there holding her husband's hand, looking like she just left the car wash. I just can't do it. Look at her. And you look like you cute too. Don't do that. You too cute for that. Look at him. I'm telling y'all. So y'all, what I'm saying, I say all this to say is that, we put people in positions not to fall. We do. And when they fall, it's devastating. We forget that they're human. We forget that they're going to make mistakes. We forget that we all go through things. We forget who we are in comparison to who this person is that we're about to talk about and put our mouths on. But the one thing we can't do too, as a person who's delivering a message, is to act as if we are the perfect model of what we're talking about. I talk about relationships. I talk about accountability. I talk about women and growing all the time. And I've learned a lot just through my relationships, which is why I can talk and I can be transparent. When I say I've done some shit, okay, in relationships, learned from them, and I can tell you about it. And I know God gave me those opportunities, and I, may not have been the best, gave me these opportunities to go through those things so I can be able to tell women who might not be strong enough to go through them. Being heartbroken and going through things and going through, betrayal such as that, that's a hard pill. I've been there too. I was cheated on in my marriage. A lot of people. I've been there. So I understand. But what else I understand is I wasn't going to keep on going through that bullshit. Okay? That's the other part I understood. So we all have our tolerance level. We all know what we deserve. And I think, again, for women, before you get out here and start all this dating thing, which is what I'm teaching you, before you start dating, you need to be fully vested, fully stocked emotionally, physically, financially. You need to be full of who you are and know that, because when you are full, you don't take all that mess. You know exactly what's going to tip your cup, and you're like, nah, I'm good on that. You take a red flag and you recognize it for what it is. Like, nah, I know this. Thanks, but no thanks. I'll pass. You gotta learn what these things look like. You gotta learn what they look like. You gotta learn what we look like so we don't have to go through these experiences. A lot of times we're damaged, and a lot of times we don't even know where we're damaged. We don't go to counseling. We don't go get our help. We don't go find out. We don't have our own self-counseling. We just keep going through and going through and going through and going through. You got to get better at that. Because there's a whole lot of Derrick Jaxns out there, okay? a whole lot of them. And guess what? You're going to run across them. But it's for you to be okay and be like, you know what? I see you, Derrick Jaxn. Matter of fact, that's what we're going to call all. They're no longer narcissists. They're called Derrick Jaxn. We're going to call them DJs. No longer narcissists. DJs. They're DJs. When you see a DJ coming, you need to be like, he ain't playing music. This is a DJ. I'm good on you, DJ. I see you. I see what you're talking about. I see what you're working with. I see you. And Derrick, my message to you is, if you're watching, I hope somebody passes along to you. My message to you is, this is your time to get it right. I pray that you don't use this as an opportunity. I don't know you. You say you've been working, you're with God. Now, this is your opportunity to get it right. This is your opportunity to get it right. You maybe this will teach you who not to put your mouth on, who not to talk about. Show more mercy and grace to some of these men who are super mad at you for telling these women not to mess with their raggedy ass. Because some of them raggedy. Some of them are raggedy. Hi, Krista Jordan. How are you?
Hey, lady. Girl, I had to run right in.
I know. You guys, ladies and gentlemen, my boo, the new host of her own new show, with Crystal. No.
From Crystal with
Love. Yes, it's Krista Jordan, everybody. Y'all clap it up. I'm also on my IG Live, and so they're listening to you as well. I'm going to be on, if y'all hadn't gotten enough, I'm going to be on after this with Crystal, having the same conversation from some different aspects. We're not going to talk about Derrick Jaxn. So how are you, baby? Tell me, girl. I know you was like, child. You called me like, girl.
I had to call you because I was so shocked and really sad, right? You see the way he presented this. First of all, it's totally wrong. It was a totally inappropriate way to handle a crisis communication situation. My background is PR.
Yes.
And I was shocked that first of all, I thought Derrick Jaxn would have hired a publicist or at least reached out for counsel, because this was definitely not the way to handle it. Not only did he handle the situation wrong, but his poor wife was ill prepared. It's almost like, are they in the same house? Because he's so meticulous with his image. He's so into himself. And so, you know, we know a lot of that's from a narcissistic place, but she looked like she just came from the grocery store and didn't have her hair. I mean, it just, and I would say she's a beautiful girl. Yes. Natural is fine. But the fact that Derrick goes out of his way to be so presentable, we know that he did not prepare her for this audience. He knew good and well his audience was going to eat her alive. He knew good and well that he did not take the same care with her that he took with himself, which leads me to think even more. I mean, before we even get into the conversation, that's just the way that they look. If you're going to put your wife and put her up on this pedestal, he doesn't even really talk about his marriage, but then you're going to bring him out and have all these female followers that love you, catering to them, and not have her prepared. No, sir.
That's the same thing I told him earlier. That's exactly, you confirming exactly what I said. It's the same exact thing. And then he passed on this thing to us that this was her idea. So Tim, what do you think about this? This was her idea?
It obviously wasn't her idea, because when she would talk, he would stop her. He didn't want her to keep talking because he's so rehearsed. He knows how to give the spiel, to hit the emotions from the women watching. She's just talking, trying to do what he wants her to do. And it was obvious. They had not, I mean, obviously he's panicking because he's realizing he's losing his base.
Right.
So he brings her, and she's like a deer in the headlights, just going. And, you know, well, we won't want to say that. I was like, this is worse. Now you look like you specifically sought out someone that you could control.
Exactly.
That was broken. I don't know. Girl, did you go to her Instagram page?
I did not. I need to.
Go to her Instagram page. Absolutely. Her Instagram page. It is definitely the page of a woman that is in turmoil.
What's her IG?
Girl, I'm gonna text it to you right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna text it. But you know what? It made me sad. And I'm not down. I want to make sure that I'm clear. I'm not downing this sister at all. Yeah. What I'm saying is that her posts are indicative of someone that's crying out for help. Yep. Right. And I also will say, as a woman that's been in a situation that's been cheated on, no woman wants to sit up and proudly sit by her husband, admitting that he's been with numerous women.
Say it.
Numerous. I don't care how strong you are. That hurts. And yes, you get through it. Yes, God can do anything. I definitely believe that. But to sit there and act like that's her idea and she wants to humiliate, child, please.
Right. And that's exactly what I said earlier. You're saying the same exact thing. There's no way in the world that this could have been her idea, and to put her out there like that in front of all these people who are going to see her, right? He should have presented her like he was gold, like she was here, like he
should have spent more time.
He just set her out there to dry, like, here you go. This is what this come on, let's do it. Yeah.
I was so sad. He should have actually made her look better than him. We all know, you know how you talk about what a man will do. A man who really loves you wants you to shine even brighter than him.
Exactly.
His queen represents him.
Exactly.
That's not the representation that I see. Derrick Jaxn he's constantly in the gym. There's not one ab out of place, never. Hairline is never out of place, never. Right. So for him to have her go on in a hat that's triggered to the side, no, absolutely not. And he knows. My thing is that he's not innocent. He knows how the responses of people are. He studies it. He studies women. That's how he's able to make money on us, is that he studies women, and he's able to target exactly what those weak emotions on most women that want to be loved and want to be validated. He knows how to do that. So if he could do that for his audience, why can't he do that for his wife?
He definitely have. And that's what I said. It had to have been something. I spoke on this earlier. It had to be something to watch her husband talk about all the things that a woman should look out for, all the narcissists, all the this and that, and knowing that she's laying beside the same exact thing that he's telling people to look out for. What kind of way do you feel laying next to a person that's damaging you and telling other women to protect themselves from the same thing that's damaging the person that you're laying beside?
Yeah, that's got to be difficult. I feel for her. And then I did not realize, because first of all, like I said I made a statement the other day, and I said, I believe that you have to listen to the message and not the man in any situation, because people are all flawed.
Yes.
However, in this situation with this, I see that this is all a game to him. This is a game. This is because his behavior was out of order for periods of time. They said numerous women.
Yeah, numerous.
So he's playing with people all the time, but it does not mean that the things that he said were not true, but it does mean that he has been using this platform and manipulating women to make money, and that's really reprehensible. That's sad, and most importantly, not so much the women that he's gotten money from, because game recognized game. And to me, I always saw it. You could tell there was just something about him that just didn't sit quite right, because he does so much to make sure that he is the epitome of what women want, right? And then he didn't really post his wife. So if you're this man promoting family and promoting being a good guy, I should see you and your wife and your children all the time.
We didn't even know for a long time if he was married or not.
I didn't realize he had been married before.
Yeah,
and he had cheated on that one.
Yeah.
So
we didn't know.
So I think everybody can make mistakes, but I don't think this is a mistake. I think it is, a tree by its fruit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this fruit is bad. This fruit is not going. This dog won't hunt. So I think it's a lesson. People need to stop focusing on social media and focus on their own lives.
That's it.
So stop looking to somebody online to give you the keys and success and tell you what you should do with your love life. Get to know yourself.
Yep.
Because following Derrick Jaxn is not the way. But like I said, that still doesn't mean that some of the things he might have said are not true.
Yeah.
So for any women that were helped by him, don't feel bad about that. You know what I mean? Like, the devil can sing a beautiful song.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to seek out, the one thing about listening to people online and influencers and coaches or whatever, if they're not talking about finding a way to heal, everything should be speaking about healing. I mean, if they're talking more about finger pointing more than healing and creating an environment of growth, then that's something you need to look out for, because relationships start with being a solid person yourself. So a lot of finger pointing is not going to get you anywhere. You really got to learn how to deal with you and wonder why why you're making the choices that you're making. Right. And then that way you'll know how to move forward. So if somebody's always teaching you how to point the finger and saying somebody's doing this and somebody's doing that, and they're not requiring you to look at yourself, that's not going to be a person that's going to put you in position to learn how to date and have successful relationships.
I agree. I agree with you 100%, T. Marie. And I think that goes both ways. I see women, there are women sex experts or relationship experts, and they come on and all they do is dog other women.
Yeah.
If you have to dog the opposite sex or the same sex in order to get your viewers, chances are you're running game.
Yeah.
You're running game.
Yeah.
If it's a woman and she gets on, and the only way she gets men to high five her and big her up is the fact that she's tearing down other women, she's running game. Yeah. Because the first rule of game is tear that person down and make them feel like they need you.
Absolutely.
Right? That's it. When a man is constantly downing other men as opposed to uplifting women, something's wrong. It's game. It's game. And you got to recognize that. If something feels, and some women, you get hurt and you love to hear a man talking about the other man. To me, as a woman, if I have a guy friend and all he has to ever say is negative things about the guy, then I kind of look at him like, what are his motives?
Yeah, what's your motives?
A real man is going to come in and give you his perspective, not tear him down.
Exactly.
So anytime, like you said, if somebody's pointing the finger, it goes both ways.
Absolutely.
It don't even have to be relationships.
Exactly.
All these empowerment coaches that all they do is get on here and tear you down. Baby. You're not doing this, you're not doing that. It's game.
We can do a whole show on that alone.
It's game. And you got to guard your eyes. You got to guard what you take in. So you got to know when somebody is gaming you to get in your pocket, breaking you down to make you feel weak, to get in your pockets, or trying to uplift you in a fake way, being manipulated. But I'm not going to lie to her. I was really disappointed. I feel for her. But we all have to learn our lessons. I just hate that hers is on a public platform, because that's not, you know, I cannot imagine. They had 14,000 people watching that live when I clicked off.
Yeah.
You know, I went through things in relationships that weren't good in front of myself and my friends. I cannot imagine the world calling me stupid, the world listening in, my husband putting me in a position to make me look stupid in front of the world.
And if you don't have a red flag, that would be it. You would put me out there no matter how, just to save yourself. I know that we're going to talk on your show. Tell me what time so I can tell everybody, flip over, tell them where they can find you, because we're not finished.
We're not finished. We're about to get into this all over again, because I was like, I hit you. I said, we got to do this today, because I mean, you know, whenever there's negativity, I think you have to combat that with positivity and you know, some clarity. So 10 o'clock, few minutes, 10 o'clock, we're going to be on From Crystal with Love, my YouTube channel, and also on Facebook. We can share this with your Facebook audience as well, so they get a chance to see both. Everybody can see both, but 10 p.m. Eastern. So y'all get a snack, get something, come right back.
All right, I'm gonna go. You go get ready, girl. I'm gonna go.
Okay, girl. Okay.
Up and get ready for the second half.
Yes. All right. I'll see you soon.
See you in a minute. So look, if you weren't finished, we're not finished either. I love the fact that, you know, we're going to talk about this from not just some factual things, but some things, some ways of seeing what the good is in this. And maybe, hopefully, you guys, when you're listening to what we're talking about, you can take some things from it and know how to move forward too. My name is T. Marie. I am your dating coach. I am your companionship agent. And I appreciate you guys staying tuned into the conversation. This was a special edition, but I'm here not every Thursday. You're supposed to be every other Thursday. I'll be here and we'll be having these talks. But whenever something come up, best believe, baby, I'm going to be here. Trust me. I'm going to give you all the tea. We're going to sip it. We're going to discuss it, and we're going to learn from it. But before I go, I want you guys to know that I have a birthday coming up, right? My birthday is May 22nd. I will be grown, okay? Real grown, real young, and real grown. But to celebrate my birthday, I have an amazing gift for you. Not a gift, but an amazing, gift from me to you, but, you know, for you to get it. I am coming out with a wine, a new Moscato. I have my own wine line that will be out May 22nd. We will have a launch party on that day, and I would love for you guys to come and get your very first taste of Tasty Moscato. That's Taste, T-E-E, Moscato. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to share it with you guys, get it on the shelves, is what we're working on now. But, you know, I try to put out the things that I love, and I love a good wine. I love a good sip. Y'all know I do. I've been on a 30-day hiatus from alcohol. I've been doing very well. And here's how I know I'm not an alcoholic, because I look the same and talk just like this when I'm drinking and when I'm not. And I haven't been drinking, okay? This is sports. And so I want to be able to share some of the things that make me happy. Not happy as a drunk, but just luxuries of life that I enjoy. And so being able to have this wine created and share it with the world and share things that I've done with the world is exciting to me. So I hope you guys will pick you up a bottle when it's available of Tasty Moscato. It's going to be good to the taste, and I will be announcing our launch party. We'll be limited amount of guests, so you better get on the guest list quick. You know, when it's time to be out there, it will be a limited amount of guests, but we're going to party, we're going to celebrate, and then we're going to toast on my birthday with Tasty Moscato. So I hope to see you guys there. All right, go ahead and grab you a little snack, take your bathroom break, and get ready to tune into the second half of I'm going to have a conversation with my girl, with Crystal, from Crystal with Love. We're going to finish talking about this thing. I thank you guys so much. Let me tell you, the one thing I want you to take from this is that we all have to be accountable, okay? For when we're the victim and when we hurt somebody, we have to be accountable, and we will be held accountable. As a victim, you'll be held accountable because you'll continue to go through things and get hurt and be used and be subjected to other people's wills and other people's ideas that don't correlate with yours. That's what's going to happen to you if you're not accountable for the people that you allow in your life. And if you do people wrong, you're going to reap that. You're not going to always be able to ride under the radar, because that's not the type of God we serve, and that's not the type of God that runs this atmosphere. He's going to expose you. He's going to put you out there. He's not going to allow people to continue to follow something that's removing them and removing him from them. He's not going to let people continue to get heartbroken. So even though it may seem like for a little while people are getting away, you will always be exposed. And when you are exposed, my dear, I will be here with the tea on the conversation. See you guys next time. Not sure about this Thursday, but if it is, I'll let you know. It is your girl T. Marie on the special edition of Conversation. I'll talk to you next time.